Warning. The podcast you are about to hear may hold opinions and perspectives that may offend some. Listener discretion is advised. The opinions in this recording are those alone of Anthony P. Stone. Thank you for listening.
But what is my opinion? But I won't compromise who I am. I won't become your program man. Oh, you can hate me all you want, you can hate me all you want, cause I really don't give a damn.
Rock and roll music, libertarian talk. Yours, rock and roll,
Broadcasting worldwide via the internet out of the region formerly known as the United States, now known as FEMA Region 4, Dalton, Georgia. You're listening to the RockRoll100FM.com's podcast, The APS Show. And now here's your host, Anthony Stone. Hell yeah.
Greetings everyone, and welcome to podcast number 24. Can you believe I've actually done 24 episodes? And as you heard there into my very intro, it is a song called The End of Islam. And the reason I chose it is because I am basically going to say Elf ISIS. I'm not going to discuss the turds anymore unless they really do something. But anyway, these pieces of filth, these pieces of rodent droppings, I call them Islamic skank now. I finally chunked it down to IS like they wanted it to, but I don't call it Islamic State. I call them Islamic skank because the skanks killed a bunch of children this past Monday, and you're never going to convert me. I'm not going to convert. So you can just take that to the bank. I'm never going to bow down to Islam. I'm never going to convert. You can just stuff it. But anyways, another piece of filth of the New World Order has finally met his King and Lord and Master Lucifer. He died on the 26th of May, 2017. His name was Zbigniew, I can't pronounce that name, Brzezinski. Zbigniew Brzezinski. And he was the filth, he was the piece of crap that invented the vehicle of Islam, turning Islam against the West, turning it against, of course, it was going on centuries ago, of course, but this piece of filth, this piece of vermin wanted to destroy the world. He wanted to wipe out so many people by the year 2000. He wrote it in his own books and stuff. This was a piece of garbage. He worked for Obama. He worked for many other presidents, but he's a piece of filth, a piece of diarrhea. He worked for that Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a big worshiper of Zbigniew Brzezinski, but it's a good news that this piece of garbage is finally in hell where he belongs. Thank God. God's getting rid of him this year. He done got rid of Rockefeller. He got rid of Brzezinski. Who's next? But you know something? Unfortunately, these evil turd world order people are still getting their satisfaction, because even though they're dying, their black smoke is leaping, and they're leaping into new bodies. But hopefully, if we keep speaking out against these vermin, these rodents, these rat droppings, if we keep speaking out against them, we can defeat them, hopefully. But there's good news. It's already been written. It's in the Bible. These vermin, these filth, they will be defeated one day. Jesus Christ himself will defeat all these vermin. Unfortunately, these stupid Islamic idiots can't figure out that they're being used in a new world third order game. As soon as they use you stupid idiots, educate yourselves. You're too busy living in the 9th century with your terrorist turd Muhammad. Your terrorist turd Muhammad. You're paying attention to him so much, he's been dead so long he don't know what's going on. He's a zombie corpse. And you letting these filthy, vile vermin use you to destroy the world. Then they're going to put you in a concentration camp. And they're going to put you with the very people you hate. They're going to pile you in there with the Christians and the Jews, the people that, but by the way, I don't even understand why. Why you even care? Do you not realize you're just a tool of whoever is in control of Islam today? Back then it was Muhammad. He just wanted power. He didn't care about your soul. He don't care about your soul. Why don't you listen to something every once in a while? Instead of being retarded idiots. That boy that blew up that concert was a retard. You can tell by looking at him. He was a retarded idiot. I've seen people that were dumb that look smarter than him. He's an idiot. And he blew up a bunch of children, thinking he's going to go to heaven. He ain't going to no heaven. You know what was awaiting that idiot? Lucifer. Just like this piece of pile of crap, Brzezinski, that started using these Islamic terrorists in the modern day. And for all you moderate Muslims out there, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to these piles of crap, these piles of filth that are submitting themselves over to evil, thinking that they're doing good. Jesus addressed you, by the way. He even said a prayer for his future people that was going to be dealing with you pieces of crap. You think you're doing God's will, but you're not doing God's will. You're doing the devil's will. You're doing the New World Order's will. Just stop it already. Why don't you think about what you're doing? But you know something? Jesus is going to deal with everything soon. That's all I'm going to say. It's coming soon. You people, you're fixing to get your New World Order. You're fixing to get your devil man. Wonder wherever he's at. I think he's Obama. But I could be wrong. But I think Obama has been the king of a lot of this crap. I don't think Obama's just your average puppet. A lot of people think Obama is. I don't. I still see Obama as a threat, even though he's out of office. People love him. People worship him like he's a guide. They still talk good of him. You know, the only people that hated him was people that hear from God. Those are the only people that hated Barack H. Obama, the evil Antichrist. And the woman that rides the beast, Hillary Rodham Clinton, she's evil too. Evil to the core. And that thing lives in a false reality too. She thinks she beat both Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. She didn't beat neither one of them. Donald Trump was the popular vote. You can't count stolen votes, and you can't count dead people, and you can't count illegal aliens. And we all know that's what voted for Hillary Rodham Clinton. And as far as Bernie Sanders goes, he had a lot of supporters too. I even had some people on my list that was a supporter of Bernie Sanders. So it was either Trump or Bernie Sanders, but I didn't see anybody supporting Hillary Clinton. Out of everybody that I ran in contact with, my Twitter people, they were either, and my Facebook people, they were either Bernie supporters, or they were Trump supporters, or they were nay. And I don't blame you nays either, because Trump, sometimes he appears like he might be on their side, but they're so against him that I know better than that. I'm going to try not to talk about the rodents of Islam anymore, because I'm giving them power. Because you notice one of them said, one of the converted one that's got away from them, that's broke away, and I know I talk dirty about you, but if you break away, you might be able to save your soul. Because this is a heresy, And them people are just using you. You're being used, ISIS. You're being used, radical Islam. You're being used by turds like Brzezinski that just met his devil. His devil, Lucifer. He's waiting with him to be casted into hell with the rest of them. You're being used. I get mad at the government too myself, but I want to reform it. That's what Donald Trump was supposed to be doing, and he's done a lot. They've stopped him at every turn. We want to reform America, and I've heard people say that America was never great. Well, why can't it be great? If it wasn't great, let's make it great. It was a great idea. Freedom for everyone. Today it's freedom if you're a certain race. That's racism. You go on about racism. Martin Luther King didn't stand for none of that. And I know I'm white man. I can't tell you how Martin Luther King thought. That's what I've been told. But you know something? I'm going to say it, because when I hear his speeches, he's talking about everyone. He ain't talking about just black people. He wanted to see the days where black and whites would walk hand in hand and eat in the same restaurants, eat in the same places, and not be separated. But you know something? Everybody today separates themselves, and I'm even guilty of that. I separate myself from almost everybody. I don't just separate myself from colors. I'm a reclusive individual. I'm a whatever they call that. I don't like to be in gatherings of public people or anything. I like to keep to myself. But he didn't want segregation. You people segregate, and you've even created a brand new racism. You people are just as equivalent to the people that burn black people and hung black people from trees and burned them on crosses. That's what you've equalized yourself to. I'm not the racist here. You are. If you got a problem with what I'm saying, you are a racist, because I believe everybody is equal. I believe everybody was made by God, no matter what color you are. You was made by God. And if I don't like you, it's got nothing to do with your color. It's your personality. I don't care what color you are. Oh, sure. If I was marrying a woman, I'd want a white woman. I wouldn't want a race. But I'm a white man, and I would be more attracted to a white woman than I would be a race. But that's the point. That's my perfect, whatever that word I'm trying to think of. That's my, I've said it many a times. That's what Lizzie Got a Man, the song is about. Preference. It's a preference. My preference would be a white woman. Not a black woman, not a Mexican woman, not any other kind of woman. A white woman would be what my preference would be. And yes, I stressed woman because I'm not a queer. I don't give into that theology that it's love is love. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to give in to that. Now, sure, it's just a preference. You're not born that way, and you might be chemically induced to be that way, but you weren't born that way. If you're that way, it's a genetic defect, and if you're transgender, something's wrong in the mind. You're not right in the mind. And I don't care whether you like that or not. That's truth. Truth is truth, and truth sometimes hurts. But I'm not a racist. I believe everybody is equal. I may not like some races based on some of their personalities. We can talk about that, but there's nationalities and things that I don't like either. And Islam is a religion. It's not even a race. There's a lot of white people that are converted to Islam and are even carrying out ISIS. A lot of them are British, a lot of them are Australian, and a lot of them are Americans. White people. Some people have even circulated some of the tattoos are Marine tattoos. Now I can't substantiate that, and I don't even know if the photos are photoshopped. But I'm just saying that some of the Marines online have identified some of the ISIS who didn't have their arms covered as Marines. So ISIS is not a color either. It is not a race. Islam is not a race. Anybody can be a Muslim. If I wanted to, I could convert to be a Muslim, but I'm not going to. Because I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't have a religion. I just believe in Jesus Christ. Sure, I call myself a Christian. But I don't take it as a religion. I just believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ is the King of the Kings and the Lord of the Lords. No man above Jesus. That's what I believe in. That's why I don't worship kings. That's why I don't worship presidents. That's why I don't worship rock stars. That's why I don't worship none of that. Sure, I like rock music. I don't worship them. There's a lot of people who worships their idols, worships their football, worships their crap. I don't worship any of it. I believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the man. The man of men's, when the man comes around, as Johnny Cash wrote on that song. I don't know if he wrote it or not. I think he wrote it. He sung it. He sung a lot of things he didn't write. Some things he did write. But anyways, I've been rambling for going on 14 minutes here, so I'm fixing to close it. I thought I might cover the news today on Memorial Day. But I decided not to. I'll just do another little conversation. Because I've realized that this is why I'm going to try to quit talking about them. They like being talked about. One of the Islamists and I was going to say this earlier, and I think I got off track. I'm good at getting off track. Had actually stated that the reason they killed a bunch of kids is because they knew it was going to get talked about. Well, guess what? You're going to condemn your soul to hell for eternity and get Jesus Christ against you because you want to make the news? That's really stupid. Jesus said you're better off to throw yourself in the sea with a rock around your neck than on Judgment Day to meet Him when you hurt children, when you harm children. He said that. You're condemning your souls for eternity just to get a point that Islam is the great. Allah is God. That's what you're doing. You're never going to convince some of us. Just live your life. Let me live mine. You believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe. Why is it so that hard? Why does every man want to push their belief on everybody else? Why can't you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe, and that's just the way things is? That's the way I believe. I'm an American. I've always been an American. Even if I don't agree with a Satanist, I think he's got the right to believe it, as long as he ain't pushing it on me. Satanist is just worshiping yourself anyway. The self is God. Unless you're a damned old devil worshiper, and then you're worshiping that old evil fallen piece of crap, known as the devil, whose only power is the power he's given right now. He's got lots of power. Sure, he's powerful. But he ain't nothing compared to Jesus Christ. That's who he's jealous of anyway. I see I've spoke loud enough for the audio this time. Last time it was so low, I had to louden it 5 times and it still didn't sound right. So this time I spoke loud enough to make sure that it picks up. I really just need to get a microphone. I tried to get one, it didn't work. I didn't know how to get it to work. It's supposed to be USB activated, but it didn't activate. Nothing I tried would activate it. Maybe I'll just get a Bluetooth headset. They're cheap. They're affordable. I'm going to end this one. That was number 24. I would have probably had more than that if I hadn't had about 2 weeks of sickness. I still don't know what was wrong. I still got dizzy last night. You're never going to convert any of us that's against this. But the real thing is not even the conversion to your religion. You are being used. You are being a tool. Wake up. Even if you believe in what you believe in, don't let them use you like that. That's why the radical left is supporting you. That's why they support it. They think it's anti-Jesus. That's what their really problem is. They will line up to the slaughter and let you cut their heads off just because they hate Jesus. Just because they hate Jesus. Why do you think You never hear a word from, and I'm not trying to offend him, and I know he gets mad when people mention his name and talk about him, but like Marilyn Manson, for instance, he gets up there and he rants and he rails against Christianity, a religion that hasn't been a threat in a long time. I mean, you had some real idiots in the past call themselves Christians. See how you see, yeah? For you people on Twitter who say I don't never speak out against anything, these people were idiots. They were idiots. I've always spoke out against them idiotic people that burn witches, and we all know why they really burnt the women, by the way. It had nothing to do with no God, with no Jesus, because Jesus wouldn't have commanded them to do that. Jesus would have stood before them just like he did the woman when they was trying to stone her to death. Because that's exactly what they was doing. They would, because if you go read the Book of Martyrs and all that, and I've never read the full thing, I've only read pieces of it, and I've seen a documentary on it. It's called the Fox's Book of Martyrs or something like that. Most of them were women. Most of them were voluptuous. They were turned on pieces of crap who took it out on the woman instead of going to God and saying, God, I sinned and I thought and lusted after this woman. Instead, they decided to burn them as witches. And that's what there was some that really was witchcraft. But the majority of the time, they just picked out a woman that they thought they was attracted to, or some young girl, and burned them as a witch. Them people were crap. We all agree with that. But you won't never hear Marilyn Manson say one word about Islam. Indeed, one day I even got into a tweet fight with, or a tweeter text with him, about, he was going on about how Muslims, but Christians, and this and that, and how he would be a Muslim first, or something like that. I forgot how he said it. It's been a long time ago. But it really rubbed me, and I actually said something. I think I was blocked for a few days. I can see him again, so he must have unblocked me. But back then, I think I was blocked for about 5 days. But it's not Christianity. They're making video games about a Christian terrorist group that's going to cannibalize people. It's a bunch of filth. It's a bunch of crap. It's lies. Christianity's not going to hurt you. These Christians today, even the pastors will tell you, they're worldly. They're not even religious. They go to church on Sunday and they listen to Ariana Grande and all them other people, Miley Cyrus, and even me. I believe in Jesus. I don't count myself religious. I listen to rock music, all that. These people today, they're worldly. These Christians are not going to be your threat. They may stand around with their big crosses. They're just trying to intimidate. Them are not spiritual warriors. They're spiritual wimps. The one with the big cross, and I bet you're hearing me. You'll probably hear me. The one with the big cross that stands, it's a 9-foot cross, and he's got his arms wrapped around it. He looks so pathetic at every concert and every wrestling event I've seen him at. He makes my blood boil. He's an idiot. He's not winning souls for Jesus. He's aggravating people. And he's going to answer for that one day, because he's just pushing them kids further and further away from God, because that's all that does. And I know my language may be to it too, but at least I'm not deliberately out here trying to invoke people to hate Jesus. I'm telling you that Jesus is the man, and you should find out about him if you don't know about him. And don't worry about what these religious people do. He's never put any kind of command on him. Now all this other stuff that comes with it, if you want rewards in heaven and all that stuff, that's what that's all about. But he died for your sins. That's what it's really all about. But you'll never hear these rock bands, and I did find one song I love. I played it about 5 times when I heard it, and I've started out this podcast with it. It's called The End of Islam. Out of all the bands that and I bet you they're considered a hate rock group. I didn't even see any live performances of them, so I bet they're not allowed to play live. Of course, they could be an old band. I don't know. It could be a very old recording. I'm not sure about them. I just found it. Can't even think of their name. Something pissed off something. I'll tell you another date. Or I'll put it at the first of it. Because I always tape my thing before I have the intro to the music. I always tape it before I even get my music ready. I just bring it up in my podcast. Because I'm not a professional. I've never claimed to be professional. Maybe I should try to be professional. But anyway, you'll never hear these rock bands say one word about it, but they'll always be the first to hate on Christianity. And I will give Marilyn Manson credit. He has said that he don't hate God himself. He hates the people that project their God on people. I agree with him there. I don't like them people either. I don't like that thing that stands around with that big pathetic cross. He ain't winning no souls. Who's he kidding? He's just looking like a goofy-ass idiot. And I know God told you to pick your cross up. But that wasn't what Jesus was talking about. He was basically saying if you wasn't worthy of carrying it, not to carry it. This is a goofy idiot. He used to stand out about the Undertaker at wrestling, at WWE wrestling, WWE. This is what a pathetic idiot this is. Wrestling! Wrestling! It's a show! It's a stage! And you had this idiot up here with a cross, standing outside the venues. Even my daddy said something to me about it one time. He said, Philip, come over here and look at this idiot. He's got this big cross. An idiot! Yes, I'm calling you an idiot. I don't care what you like. You can get on your knees and pray and God is persecuting me. I'm not persecuting you. I'm telling you to wake up. Quit being an idiot. Quit being a useful tool for organized religion. That's what you're being. You're being an organized tool, just like them ISIS idiots and all the other. I just name ISIS. They're the ones I know about. There's Al-Qaeda. There's all them idiots. You people are being duped by the New World Order. Duped by the New World Order that I started hearing about when I was a little boy. And when I seen Waco, I decided that was my light in life and I was going to be against it. That was what turned me against it. Then you had that other one, the Ruby Ridge. That was a terrible story too, by the way. Shooting that woman with a baby in her arms and destroying that baby's life. And then all they could say was, I was doing my job. Yeah, you was doing your job, alright. Your job is to serve the Constitution. That's your job. That's what you swear the oath to. Go read the Oath Keeper's website. You don't swear allegiance to the President of the United States. Sure, you're supposed to serve him, but if he gives you an order that you're not supposed to follow, that's unconstitutional, you are supposed to not follow it. That's the oath you take. And by the way, any orders that was given back then wasn't given by the President, by the way. He didn't wear the pants in that house. She-demon did. She-demon that goes around flopping and flooping and coughing everywhere today. And you want to know why she's got all that? She's got all that because God has cursed her. She's a cursed individual. She didn't get her sicknesses on age and all this other stuff like a lot of people did. A lot of people just get the sicknesses based on their age and their health and their genetics. But this woman's been cursed by God. I mean, you can just plainly tell she's evil. She's just evil. She's an evil creature. So I've talked for 27 minutes now. And happy Memorial Day. And remember, it's not about fireworks, barbecues, hamburgers, and beer. Some men died for your freedoms. And there was a lot of people that were duped in the fighting battles that they shouldn't have fought. But even they're worth honoring because they thought they was doing the right thing. Like a lot of people went over to fight for 9/11 because they thought that it was Islam that attacked them. It wasn't Islam, it was the New World Order, and the Islam has just been used against us. And Islam is a problem. It is. It's a problem. It's a dominative, horrible religion and political movement that suppresses women. But every one of them horrible regimes has been put in power by someone in Washington. By someone in Washington at some time period from the 1950s on down, They've always put these terrible regimes in, and then they try to convince you it's the Saddam Husseins and the Bashar Assads that are the problem, when it's really just them and their new world order and their global world domination evil empire that Jesus Christ will defeat when he returns to the earth. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you for listening to the APS show on rockandroll100fm.com. The Duck. Quack. 2017 all rights reserved.